is Oromo Voice Radio English program. Oromo Voice Radio is broadcasting to Oromia at 16-meter band or 17,850 kilohertz or on oromovoice.org website. OVR broadcasts Oromia Insight program every Monday for 15 minutes at 7:15 p.m. Oromia local time. Welcome to Oromia Insight program.
Oromia is a country in East Africa well known as the Horn of Africa. It's 600,000 square kilometers, making it larger than France, Italy, Belgium, and the Netherlands. Oromia is populated by over 40 million people. It's the origin of human race and the Gada system. Oromia is the birthplace of coffee and home to world-class athletes. Also is a nation with multi-faith society, Christianity, Islam, and Waqf. Oromia is the third largest single nation in Africa and the single largest nation in East Africa. It has been occupied by Ethiopia for over 130 years and is struggling for self-determination. Oromia has an unaccounted number of Oromo refugees living in other countries.
My name is Ali Galato, our guest Milky Hamza. Milky, can you briefly introduce yourself to our audience?
My name is Milky Hamza. I was born overseas and I arrived in Melbourne, Australia when I was 2. I grew up here in Melbourne. I currently finished Year 12 and I'm hoping to study in university this year. I'm really interested in sport. I like sport, organizing activities, helping the community, and yeah.
Recently there is the African Australian Youth Cup. What did you see the need for the AAYC or African Australian Youth Cup?
Firstly, AAYC African Australian Youth Cup, it was hosted by my foundation called Oromia Foundation, which is Opportunities for Youth, Empowerment and Success. The need I saw in organizing this event, the African Australian Youth Cup, was so that the young people are given the opportunity to showcase their talents through sports, where they are able to meet new people and actively participate in competitive soccer. Before I organized this event, my objective was to try to link young people, families and communities together so that they can build, strengthen and encourage the diverse youth amongst our communities.
That's very interesting. Do you see the sport as an important method for social change?
I do. I do see it as an important method for social change because with the youth of today, they are encircled by sports. Sport for social development itself is a method of bringing about social change through the use of sport. I believe sport is used as a tool for peace and development.
How does it feel being Oromo or doing all this?
Honestly, I'm proud of who I am and I'm proud of my identity. I'm proud of my Oromoma, which is God-given. I was born and raised by 2 Oromo parents. What can I say? I just love being Oromo.
What motivates you to do such a thing? You actually help the community, you organize African Australian Youth Cup, you used to actually do Oromo radio show as well, like broadcasting in a sports segment. Why you do all this?
It was just in me. To be honest, I was motivated by both my parents, my father and mother, from a very young age. They encouraged me to play sport and they gave me internal freedom. Growing up, I loved managing things, which led me into organizing soccer teams and other related sport activities. This influenced me, and I'm now capable of organizing major events, as I have done with this African Australian Youth Cup. And I hope I can carry on with this and assemble other things which can have a positive impact, and so that I can give back to the community.
So what is the role of the family in the community for kids who actually grow up in a Western country like Australia?
In my opinion, I reckon the role for parents in families who grow up here to take responsibility in educating their children, to provide them with education, and so that they can mold their children into successful individuals. In terms of kids who grow up here, they need to learn and grow up in a positive environment. They need to pick up positive attitude and develop skills which can benefit both them and their local communities. They need to identify the talents that they have and take it into practice so they can benefit others as well as themselves.
Do you play yourself?
As well as organizing, I do play myself. I started playing soccer when I was young, from the age of 8. Recently, I assembled a team. I actually assembled a team from as young as about 12 years of age, just from my friends to children from different diverse communities. Recently we've been playing in a Somali tournament, which goes every year in the summer. The last tournament we played in December 2014, we actually won the Under-20 championship. Our team name was Oromo Youth, and we took the crown of championship.
Who did you play with?
We actually played against different teams within the community. We played teams from Somali, other Oromo players, Eritrean players, and just different teams from different backgrounds and different areas, suburbs.
So you won that championship, and then there is the African Australian Youth Cup. Did you play on that as well?
Yeah, we won it, and we're actually proud. Regarding the African Australian Youth Cup, I actually didn't play. I was one of the organizers. The reason why I actually organized this tournament was so that I could give the youth the opportunity to show their talents and have fun amongst their friends. Because usually in other tournaments like the Somali tournament, the Oromo tournament, and the other different tournaments, they actually specify for the seniors, which are the older age, the open age. This youth cup I just made was from juniors under 20, under 16, and juniors 12 years and younger.
How African youth, especially Oromo, can be motivated to give back to the community?
To be honest, I think there's a lot of motivations. But in my opinion, I think one of the motivations is to experience something first, and to try and improve this experience by giving back. For example, I grew up loving sport, and I wanted to join certain things in which at my younger age I was a bit young to join, and everything was basically based for the adults only. Basically I used that as an opportunity. I used that as a motivation to help the other youth through my new foundation, which is Oromia Foundation. Oromia Foundation is opportunities for youth empowerment and success. From what I've experienced, I'm trying my best to give back to the community by creating certain activities for the youth.
What is the challenge for the youth in terms of giving back to the community?
I think the challenge is to have a motivation. Honestly, there isn't really a proper challenge, but sometimes you just have to roll up your sleeves and do something that will benefit others, because at the end of the day, you're helping yourself and you're doing something good for yourself as well. There are many ways in which you can give back to the community. It can be through spending time volunteering, or just basically giving your time to help in a certain cause or activity or event.
Do you believe there is a communication problem between African parents and the kids who are growing up here?
Of course, because of the cultural, language and system barriers. In terms of here in Australia, it is different to Africa or wherever you are overseas, especially because the environment they grow up over there and here is a bit different. For example, the culture and the languages are different. Some individuals have difficulty adapting to the environment here because some of them come from civil war or war-torn areas, and while they were there, some of them got traumatized or prosecuted. And this may result in depression and stress throughout their lives. And as they come to a new environment, like for example here in Australia, it takes time to adapt, knowing what they've been through overseas.
When I spoke to some youth, they told me that they live in two cultures. Do you believe that youth from African youth, including Oromos, do you think they are living in two cultures, one culture at home, one culture outside? So they switch like a mobile. Do you know that is the case?
This is true. because some of the youth weren't given the opportunity to have education from a young age due to the environment in which they were situated in Africa. Some individuals were traumatized. They were in traumatized areas, and trying to adopt into another culture after moving to another country was probably a struggle for them, and would make the individual a bit lost in knowing what the culture is. But in my opinion, I believe that individuals should push themselves into knowing who they are and where they come from, and they should be proud of where they're from, and they should implement this and teach this to others, and let others know who they are.
You are part of the OES management. What is OES and what is your role there?
OES is Opportunities for Youth Empowerment and Success. Previously it was known as Get Our Link Academy. Now it's known as Oromia Foundation. Basically, we at OES, we encourage the local communities to work together in providing safe environments for the younger people, where they are free to develop their own identities and reach their full potentials. It is our aim at OES Foundation to raise funds and raise hopes of the younger people who are being repressed by enriching their lives and helping them to believe that they are valued members of the community. So currently we have 3 different projects. We have one here in Australia, particularly in Melbourne. We have one in Thailand and one overseas in Oromia. At Oromia Foundation, we actually believe in using sport and the arts as a medium for young people to use in developing their social, physical, and intellectual and spiritual skills, as well as establishing a strong community spirit. So it's through education and acceptance, honesty, and self-belief that allows people to achieve success and lead them to a positive lifestyle.
So how OES can be a solution?
I think it can be a solution by us hosting programs through fundraising activities, volunteering, and word-of-mouth support. We actually wish to raise funds for further to promote a safe, happy lifestyle for younger people through sport, art, and education. We can achieve this by promoting the importance of education, self-esteem, pride, trust, and confidence with every individual, old and young, especially particularly for the youth. My role myself, I'm actually the managing director of Oromia Foundation here in Australia, and we have different projects.
You organized African Cup this year. How was that?
The African Australian Youth Cup was actually one of our projects that we organized on behalf of the Oromia Foundation Australia. We organized this to give the opportunity for the youth who haven't been given an opportunity to show their skills, their talents through soccer.
So do you have something to say, or do you have any advice for the youth who are actually growing up in diaspora?
Just follow your dreams and do what you love, and because at the end of the day, it will only benefit yourself, and doing what you love and giving back to the community will also help others, and just give back to the community. That's my opinion.
Thank you, Milky, for coming and sharing your experience. Hopefully we'll talk again in the near future.
No worries. Thank you.
Bye.